Hey guys, welcome back to 25 Sweetpeas. Today I have a new swatch video featuring the new Morgan Taylor Marilyn Monroe Forever Fabulous collection, which consists of 12 really pretty polishes. So let's get right into the swatches. First up we have She's a Natural, which is just your really basic kind of nude beigey shade. So there is one coat, as you can see, that applied really nicely. The brushes on the Morgan Taylor polishes are wide, so it allows you to do it in minimal strokes. Now we're going to apply our second coat of She's a Natural, which will bring us to full coverage. And again, those brushes are great, so it allows great coverage in minimal strokes. So there is two coats, and we have full coverage of She's a Natural. Now we have Hollywood Sweetheart, which is kind of a pink-toned nude polish, or just like a very, very blushy color, although on the camera viewfinder it is looking very nude, but in real life it does have much more pinky tone to it. But there is one coat of Hollywood Sweetheart. And now it is time for the second coat of Hollywood Sweetheart, which does once again bring us to full coverage. A lot of these are just two coaters and great formulas. So there is two coats of Hollywood Sweetheart. Next up we have a polish called Wrapped in Satin, and this is a really pretty kind of minty pastel blue. And this one does have an ever so slight shimmer, but here is one coat. As you can see, this one is a bit more sheer than the previous ones that we swatched, but I think this is still going to build up really nicely. Now we're going to apply our second coat of Wrapped in Satin. And this one does cover completely in two coats. As you can see, there was kind of a little spot that looked sheer, but this does self-level out, so you are good in two coats, and that is what you're going to see in the swatch picture, is two coats. Next up, we have Blue-Eyed Beauty, and this one is probably one of my favorites of the collection. This is kind of a periwinkly blue, but it just has such a good creamy formula, and as you guys could see, that applied really nicely in just one coat and two strokes. I mean, you can't beat two strokes. So there is one coat. We can see through a teeny weeny bit, so we are going to apply a second one once the first one is dry. Now it is time for the second coat of Blue-Eyed Beauty, which again, this is just one of my favorites. It's just really pretty and it covers so nicely, and it's just such a good creamy, vibrant periwinkly blue. So there's two coats. We definitely have full coverage, and it just looks so nice, and it has a really shiny finish as well. Of course, I would obviously recommend top coat, but it's just really shiny and gorgeous. Next up, we have a shade called Ice or No Dice, and this is a sparkly shade, but it applies like a metallic, so it's not like major little glitters on your nails, and it just has a really nice formula. As you guys can see, it covered really well in one coat, and I would kind of describe this as kind of maybe a pewter, where it's kind of silvery base, but a hint of like a yellowy tone, so somewhere in between silver and gold. Probably more in the pewter family, but yeah, this is really pretty, and one coat is great, but we are going to apply a second coat just to really finish it off. Now it is time for our second coat, which will definitely bring us to full coverage. I mean, we're basically at full coverage in the first coat, but this will just fill in any little gap that may be showing. So there is two coats, and like I said, we're at full coverage, and this one is just a really pretty shimmery metallic-y shade. I really like it. Next up, we have a really pretty silver micro glitter polish called Diamonds Are My BFF, and this one is in a clear base, I would say, but there are so many silver micro glitters that this is going to build up to full coverage in no time. But of course, you could use it as a topper, but as you can see, there would not be much showing through of that base color. So like I said, this one can kind of go either way, being a topper or a buildable normal polish. But there is one coat. Now it is time for our second coat of Diamonds Are My BFF. And this one actually brings us basically to full coverage. I can't see through anymore. If you did a super thin coats, you might be able to see. You might want to go to a third coat, but really I'm happy with two. And I think it just has a really nice silvery, sparkly, glitzy glam look to it. Next up, we have a Kiss from Marilyn, and this is just a really nice creamy red cream polish that I absolutely love. As you can see, it has a amazing formula. And I absolutely love it. It is such a good holiday red too. That one coat actually does it. Of course, you could do two, but one coat, and I'm really happy with it. So we're actually going to leave it at one coat today. Next up, we have Wish Upon a Scarlet, and this is a deep burgundy red, I would say, that has some really pretty shimmer going on in it. It kind of has a warm goldeny orange glow to it that I'm not sure the camera is loving to show, but hopefully you guys can see that in the swatch picture that I will insert in just a bit. Now we are going to apply our second coat of Wish Upon a Scarlet, and I really do think this is such a lovely, good holiday color. If you want a good like statement polish rather than a polish for nail art, this is just a really pretty shade that covers perfectly in two coats. Now we have a polish called I Prefer Millionaires, and this one to me is kind of like a deep metallic-y mauve. So there's one coat. As you can see, it goes on really nicely. One thing I did notice with this one is that you have to be a little mindful when you apply it to not do too many strokes, because brush strokes do kind of appear with this one. I mean, I know it's kind of hard for you to tell because it's so shiny, but you can kind of see some brush strokes here and there. So you just have to be a little careful. Now it is time for our second coat of I Prefer Millionaires. And this one is just, it really is a nice shade. And something I haven't seen come out this season so far. So there's two coats. We definitely have full coverage. We do have a few little brush strokes here and there, so you definitely want to try to be careful. Of course, you know, at some point you have to kind of just give in and try to like them. But they're not super prominent, so that's really nice. Now we have a deep burgundy cream polish called The Camera Loves Me, and this one does have a nice kind of sheer formula, but like a very evenly sheer formula, if that makes sense. Like I can see through it, so we definitely need to build it up, but it is so even and everything when you apply it on the first coat. So there is one coat. Now we're going to apply the second coat of The Camera Loves Me. And we have full coverage for sure. So there is two coats and we are up to full coverage. So I'm still wearing the polish from the previous little clip, but now we're applying a topper called Some Like It Red, and this is kind of a reddish pink toned glittery topper in the collection, so I thought it would just be fun to apply it on top of the last one. So as you can see here, it has a really nice even coverage and a good mixture of shapes. Well, at least I hope that's coming through on camera. But you've got a kind of a very slight red, purple, almost a pink or rosy pink toned shimmer in there. And then you've got your bigger rosy micro glitters as well as some holographic micro glitters. And I say rosy, but it's really hard to describe because it's definitely a more pink toned red, but at the same time, if you put it on a red polish, it would look red. So it's just one of those that's going to be kind of just depending on how you see colors. But it's a really nice, just kind of even coverage. It gives a fun little extra sparkle. And as you can see, it kind of does dry down to like a satiny finish, so you would want a top coat like you were going to see in the swatch picture. Lastly, we have a super, super deep dark brown called Batting My Lashes. And this one is so dark that if you didn't know any better, you would say it's a black. So here is one coat, and actually this one coat is perfect. Like I can't see through it at all. It had a perfect application and went on super evenly, as you guys just saw. And I'm gonna deem this a one coater. Like there is no real need for a second coat. I mean, you might feel the need to put on a second coat to feel thicker, but honestly, this kind of felt thick when you put it on, and it looks like it has like that thicker finish. So I'm perfectly fine with one coat. So here is one coat.
And here is your final look at all of the polishes. I feel like there's a really good selection. There's a color for everyone. There's some bright, there's some neutrals, there's some sparklies. There's just really something for everyone. So these are available now, and I will have links to anything you may need to find these in the description box below. They should be available at Targets and of course on the Morgan Taylor website. So again, those will be linked. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!